Good morning, good morning. Today, first of all, welcome to another video on the Luderco Arms channel. Currently, we are out here walking the dog. And you might be wondering, why am I making a video walking the dog? So what we're going to be working on today is we're going to make some reflective safety posts. And the reason that I'm filming walking the dog is because we're going to be walking in the area where these poles are going to be, and it'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. So if you look, there's a house and here's the street right here, and you'll see there's a car fixing to come by. He's going uphill, so that's a hill, and that hill continues down, and there's a corner down there. Now, when I bought this house 30 years ago, this is where the road ended, right here. There was no continuation. It was a dead end. And about 10 years ago, they came out here and they extended this road out, which you'll be able to see better here in a second. And they built 100 houses out that way in what used to be nice woods. So you can see they curved that road and it goes on down there. So what has happened since then, so now this is the driveway that goes up to my shop, and this is the road coming downhill towards us, and then it goes back that way to where the new neighborhood is. And what has happened is, over the last 10 years, I have had two very serious wrecks happen here in my yard. One car came down here and hit this cactus, completely destroyed it, went through, and you'll see that there's one crepe myrtle tree, or two crepe myrtle trees there that are shorter than all the rest, because she took out both of those and ended up in the yard right there, and had to get a tow truck to come get her car out. And then the other one came down through here around this corner, went all the way through our yard and all the way up there into the driveway where you can see the Cherokee and the Dodge are parked. Well, at the time we had a Chevy truck and a Toyota RAV4, and it completely wiped out both of our cars. It was a Tesla. So it's no exaggeration to say that we're tired of people driving through our yard. So I put all these T-posts in here with the reflective paint at the top, and my neighbor across the street there, he put all the cones out to try to prevent this from happening. And I put these T-posts in here, and yet people still continue. I've had to, you can see this one T-post is shorter than the other. It's been knocked off a couple of times already. And I don't know if it shows up on the camera, but you can see right through here from this T-post, you can see where people come around this corner too fast, and they come right through here and they drive through my damn grass, and they do it almost every day. So what we're going to do is make some reflective posts to go here and here and here and here and maybe there. So we're gonna make 3 or 4 of them. But yeah, and I will have put in some pictures of the cars that had wrecked in our house into our cars up there, and the one that jumped the cactus there. What's crazy is this cactus, you can't tell because it's all grown out now, but there's a pile of riprap in the center of that. So big rocks, and she got airborne on it. And the weirdest thing about it is they come down this hill and they go around this curve, and there's 100 houses out that way. And the only way for those people that live in that 100 houses to get back there, the only way back there is around this corner. So to get back there, you have to come down this hill and around this corner. And to get out of there, you got to come back around this corner. So anybody that's driving from that direction back there around this curve and ending up wrecking in my yard has already been around this curve. There's no way. They know it's here. They know it's here because they have to go around it to get out there to start with. So anyways, now we'll head up to the shop in a minute, and we will look at what we're going to use to make some new posts for out here. So I'll be back with that. All right, y'all, it's later in the day. It's actually quite pretty out today. It's going to be in the 60s, which is actually a lot cooler than it normally is this time of year. Normally it's in the 70s this time of year here. Sometimes even the 80s. But, so you saw the area where we have concern, where the cars keep coming through the yard and through the grass, and they've destroyed, you know, tens of thousands of dollars worth of our vehicles and everything else. And we've done everything we can trying to get people to know the corners there and to slow down. So we're going to add some more stuff to let them know the corner is there and try to keep our neighbors safe. And at the same time, try to keep them out of our damn yard and destroying our stuff. So to accomplish this, I have scrap metal. Like most things, I'm going to build these 4 posts out of scrap metal. If you look at the ends down here, this will be the end that's buried in the ground. These are called inserters. They're part of a baler. Basically, it takes all of the scrap paper and compresses it and bales it and then ties wire around it. And these things are, I think, 1 inch by 3. Yep, 1 inch by 3 inch, maybe in a, yeah, 1 by 3. So they were free. I got them out of scrap metal bin at Fair and Square, and we're allowed to do that. It's not stealing. We just had to fill out a pass for it, which I did. So all legally mined, and they were free. So what we're going to do, I did one already. We're going to cut these off. Kind of rounded up here. Never mind that line. I didn't have them evened up. We're going to cut each one of these off kind of round like that one, but hopefully maybe better this second go round. And then we're going to grind them all, you know, grind them so there's no sharp edges. And then we're going to paint this side of them and leave them sit here for a few days for the paint to cure, and we'll flip them over and paint the other side. Once paint is cured, I've got, this is the only thing that I had to buy for this project, is some reflective tape. So once these are all painted, they're going to be painted white. We're going to take this tape and put a stripe down each side, on each one of these on both sides, with that white paint. And then I got a bucket of old reflectors. When I bought a whole bulk pile of them. They're not the same size, but we're going to have some red and orange and red, something like that, at the top end of these things. Like so. We'll drill and tap some holes in there for them when we get to that part. And then we will take them and we'll bury them in the yard. Got my burial mark. None of this has to be exact, as long as it's close enough. And we're going to put those in the yard down there, and hopefully that will help the neighbors to see where my grass is and where the road ends, and stay out of my yard and not destroy my vehicles. This is all about keeping the neighbors safe. Doing the best we can to keep our neighbors safe. So, let me get these things cut off real quick. And it's going to look pitiful, because even when I was in better practice, I was never that great at making really good cuts with a cutting torch. But my plasma will not cut through 1-inch material. So I'm going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. Alright, there's 2 down. They don't look that pretty, but they'll work for what we're doing. We'll grind them all down. They won't look all rough like that. I'm going to cut these 2 off real quick, and then I'll bring you back and we'll get these ground down and all that good stuff. Be right back. Alright, we got the ends all cut off and semi-rounded of some sort. Now I'm going to take each one at a time out here to this table, set them here, grind the end down, run a flapper wheel over the rest of it just to get it kind of cleaned off for the paint, and then bring it back in and set it on the stands, because what I'm going to end up doing is I'll have these 4 sitting here, and I'll basically paint this side of them and the sides, and then let that dry for a couple of days, and then I'll come back and flip them all over and do the other side. But I want to try to not get all that grinding dust in the paint, so I'm going to go ahead and do that outside. See, I already swept up the mess from the cutting torch. So put this here so you can kind of see what I'm doing, but I don't want to get it too close because I already ruined the last camera with grinding stuff. So let me get my grinders set up and everything, and I'll be right back. All right, earplugs, safety glasses, gloves. Alright, so there's one ground down. Now I'm going to knock out the other 3, and then we'll be back with some painting or some hole drilling, probably. be back with that. All right, I've got all the ends of these ground down, rounded off. They actually came out pretty good looking for big thick metal. And I got some reflectors sitting here, and if I do this pattern, I've got enough reflectors to do all 4 poles both sides, front and back. I think that's what I'm going to do. And then of course these will be white with the reflective stripe tape on them. But that's about it. That's all I can do right this second, because I need a mag drill to drill all these holes. There's no way I am drilling all these screw holes through these things, because I'm going to have a bolt, and there's going to be a bolt through it with a nut on the other side holding both reflectors to each, to each side. And there is no way I am drilling that many holes through a 1-inch thick bar stock with a freaking hand drill. And I am not picking these heavy things up and trying to get them leveled on that mill. I don't have an overhead crane, so that's not an option. So mag drill it is. Only problem is I don't have a mag drill, but I'm fixing to go order one on Amazon. I've been looking at them, and now's the time to get one. So we will be right back. It'll actually be like a week later, but it'll be right back to y'all with the mag drill and doing all that stuff. So be right back with that. Good morning. Welcome back. We are still working on these safety posts. You can see I got the mag drill here. Drilled 1 hole already. Got to drill 5 more in that one. And then 6 and 6 and 6. So let's get busy with it. All right, so we got 1 set drilled. Now I'm going to finish up these other 3, and then I'll bring you back for the next step. So let me get all the rest of these holes drilled. That'll take a while, and we'll be back. All right, it's now probably a week and a half later. Our poles are all painted. Paint has had time to dry. So now what I'm going to do is on each side of each pole, I've got this reflective tape that's going to go on. Comes in a roll like that. So we're going to put 2 pieces on, 1 on each side of each post, then flip them over and do the same thing on the back side. Once we get that on there, then we'll go ahead and bolt on all of our reflectors, and these things will be ready to be installed in the corner of the road down there in the corner of my yard. So I'm going to knock out the rest of these reflective stripes. That's boring, and nobody wants to watch me cut pieces and stick them on poles, but you can see what we're doing here. So let me get that done, and then I will bring you back and we'll put all the reflectors on. All right, so we got all the reflective tape on all these poles now on both sides. And now what I'm going to do is got my box of bolts and nuts that I got from McMaster-Carr. They're not a sponsor or anything like that. Got all these reflectors that I have sitting here. And so I'm going to start bolting these reflectors on top of these poles. So I'm going to go ahead and knock one out and I'll bring you back and show you. So I'll be back with that. All right. There is one completed pole. So these bolts go all the way through and they have a reflector on each side, along with the reflective tape on each side. Y'all, excuse me. Getting over a cold. So now we'll go ahead, I'll knock out these other ones, and then we will move on to installing these and being done with this project and having my shop open back up again. So let me get these knocked out and then I'll come back and we'll see about getting them installed. All right. So these things are now finished. Got all my reflectors bolted on, stainless bolts and nuts, reflective tape all the way down each side. So now I'm going to go and see if I can get my auger to start, because I don't want to have to dig the holes by hand. But I will bring y'all back once I get these things in the ground and show you the finished product. No sense in me taking y'all out there and letting you watch me dig holes in the ground. But I will come back and show you the finished product once I get them in. Or if I run into anything interesting, of course I'll bring you back. So be back with that. All right, y'all, we are done. So here is the finished product. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 posts, all in a row, evenly spaced, 6 feet apart. And it might look off in the camera, I can't really tell, but right here where we're at, this hill slopes 2 different directions. So let me show you what it'll look like. And like I said in the beginning of the video, this road used to end right here. That house was the last one on that side, and my house was the last one on this side. And this was a dead end. And then they built this road out here and put 100 houses out there, and every one of them have to come back and forth on this road. So now there's this serious curve right here. So you can see this is straight. That's a straightaway. It comes right where I'm standing is where the curve starts, back this way. So we put all these in a couple of years ago because cars kept ending up in the woods right there. Well, once we put those up, then they started ending up in my yard. So they have killed this cactus once already. I mean, demolished it, took it out to the ground. And then they keep coming through here, and you may have seen, I had a video about one of them got all the way over there to where the Jeep is and destroyed both of our cars that were sitting in our driveway. So now we've got these posts here, and I also put this in. This is an old bollard made to keep forklifts from running into stuff where I work, and forklifts had hit it so many times they decided to get rid of it. So I got a scrap pass for it and brought it home and found it a new home. So hopefully this will keep the neighbors out of our dang grass and from wrecking all of our stuff, keep them safe. That's what I dug the holes with. I tell you what, this thing is I bought it from Northern Tool. I ain't lying, like 15 years ago. And every time I go to use it, it takes about a half an hour to get it cranked up.
dump all the bad gas out of it, put new gas in it, and pull the handle about 100 times. But once you get it to crank once, then it'll crank up every time you want it to until you're done using it and put it up again for another couple of years. That right there was money well spent, because it takes about 3 seconds to dig a hole for a fence post or something with that, as opposed to using old fence post handheld diggers. So it's not a sponsor. Like I said, I bought that thing like 15 years ago, but it's been a damn good tool. It's dug a whole lot of fence posts. So that's it. This little job is done finally, and I can get my shop back and maybe get back to working on cars. We'll see. So appreciate y'all watching and supporting the channel, and we will see you in the next video. Y'all have a good one. All right. I don't know if this will be in the video or not, but it's dark now, so we're gonna ease on up. Now this is driving the direction that they always wreck and go into my grass. So they come around this curve here, and then they have this straightaway before they get to my yard. So this is the straightaway. And oh yeah, they're already, can already see them. I don't know if they're showing up in the camera, but there they are, nice and bright. Well, hopefully that will keep them from driving into our yard and wrecking our cars again. Appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see y'all in the next video. Y'all have a good one.